Look, every successful revolt is termed a revolution, and every unsuccessful one a rebellion, as Andy said, of the misguided. The problem is what side are you going to take in Hong Kong? Are you going to take the side of the corporate, or are you going to take the side of democracy? As far as HSBC and the other big banks, Paribas, having a gun put to their heads, I'd say no, it's just the opposite. Not only do they want the gun there, they're providing the ammunition for those weapons. HSBC, for example, publicly declared its support for the new legislation in June before the details were even released. BNP Paribas, HSBC, a whole lot of other companies have a hell of a lot of money invested in there. And as far as this theory, which is, I think, poppycock, that people aren't going to want to go to Hong Kong, a recent report by ECA Human Resources, along with some others, say that China remains the most common destination globally for companies to send their staff to. So there is going to be an increase there. You might see some short-term problems in the banking sector, but people want long-term stability. Corporations want long-term stability.
And when Jasper Becker,
all the world's umbrellas are made in China, and nobody wants to get wet. So until Apple and all the tech companies shut down their operations in China and shut down their stores in Hong Kong, it's going to be more of the same, and the Chinese Communist Party wins.
And the fact that Apple and Microsoft, by the way, full disclosure, this is a pre-record, so maybe they will have made a statement by the time this airs. But Craig Copetas, the fact that Apple and Microsoft have not yet issued a statement, what does that tell you, Craig?
It tells me they're not going to issue a statement. It tells me they're going to clutch their pearls and they're going to keep doing business, along with all the other companies. Yes, there's going to be embargoes. But, as Charles de Gaulle said, embargoes are like roses and young girls. They last while they last. And they are going to go in that direction. There will be near-term disruption, but long-term success. The democracy backers have been defenestrated by the Chinese Communist Party. That's just the way it is. And until, I drove by Paribas on Friday. I didn't see any protesters out front there. That's where you should be protesting. Protesters should be at the HSBC board of directors meeting, shareholders meeting. They're not there because all of those major corporations are going to stay there. And if they have to pay fines, as they have in the past, that money is chump change, and it's already ring-fenced by the companies.
Jasper Becker?
If I may.
Go ahead, Benedict Rogers.
Well, I disagree with what's just been said. I think that Chris Patten used a very good phrase, the last governor of Hong Kong, when he said that the Chinese Communist Party has treated the banks in the way that a sort of mafia boss would treat people. I think the banks were given an ultimatum, and that's why they came out in support of the law. I don't think they really would have done so. I mean, usually banks don't take a position on political and human rights issues, but to come out in support of something that so decimates Hong Kong's basic freedoms and autonomy was extraordinary, and I don't think they would have done that without pressure.
And to Craig Copetas' point that you're not seeing picketers outside of HSBC's headquarters?
Well, I think time will tell whether we do in the days and weeks to come. I mean, one of the tragedies of this situation is that it's happened at a time when the world has a lot of other things going on, and not least, in many places it's still not possible to gather in large numbers because of the pandemic. So that may be why we're not seeing mass protests. But I think over time we may see shareholders and customers really questioning the banks. We're already seeing the British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab criticizing them, members of Parliament doing so, and let's see what happens in the weeks ahead.